have psychological issues of some sort, right? And we're told the most likely source of our issues is our parents and our families. But we tend to forget that children spend the best hours of the best days of their lives locked up with hundreds of other children. And it's my contention that some of our hang-ups and our neuroses might just originate from somewhere within those 20,000 hours of torture. There are two schools of thought on this matter. There's the opinion that children are naturally selfish and are nurtured to be decent trained as they are by adults. This is the opinion which is mine. And there's the opinion that children are naturally decent and are only nurtured to be selfish, corrupted as they are by adults. This is the opinion which is catastrophically wrong. If this is your opinion, it's either because you hate your parents, bing, shit, thanks for playing, or it's because you didn't go to the kind of school that everyone goes to. At least you didn't go to one and open your eyes for 2 fucking seconds. Children create their own societies beneath the adult society. No one tells them how to do it, they just self-organise into this Stone Age quasi-culture. It is always tribal, it is always superstitious, it is always prone to mob mentality, it is aggressively Confucian in its hierarchies, it is always a dog-eat-dog, survival of the fittest, winner-takes-all, Viking Thunderdome of psychological warfare. It is always shallow, it is always sexist. Do you teach boys to play with boys and girls to play with girls? No, they just do because they notice the differences and they don't like differences. Boys, ooh, girls, ooh, they are inherently sexist. That is until around or before puberty, when the sexism transforms overnight into homophobia. Name me a middle school anywhere in the world that is not a vile hotbed of homophobia. It's like a hot... No, it is a hot bed, because you're trying to get to sleep, but you can't, because the air is so thick and muggy with squeaky voices calling everything gay. No one teaches them to do this, excluding the extreme religious rights, as one always should. No one tells their children, if you disagree with someone, be sure to call him gay. If you suspect he is gay, make his life a misery. No, they do it on their own, because they are hateful animals who will exploit any abstract differences in people just to make themselves more popular. You think children aren't racist? Ask a ginger kid. I mean, it's inadvisable to bully someone based on skin colour because society, adult society, has rules about that sort of thing. But gingers are left hanging at the mercy of child law. The purity and innocence of the playground etiquette, where everyone is agreed that red hair is a perfectly legitimate reason to bully someone. Children do not learn this. They are simply like this. They notice the shallowest of differences. And they love having an excuse to divide, to compete, to prove they're better than each other in some arbitrary way. This is not learned. They are pathologically self-centered. And their parents didn't teach them to be pathologically self-centered. They just didn't teach them not to be. I don't know how you can argue that children are naturally pure and innocent when everyone knows instinctively and empirically that loud, selfish, violent, bully children did not get that way through over-parenting or through too much discipline. They got that way through half-assed parenting and through not enough discipline. QED, the less you discipline a child, the more selfish it becomes. What do you suppose happens to a child that receives no parenting and no discipline and no social education whatsoever? Becomes feral. It becomes a wild cave gremlin without the slightest inkling of why it's bad to hurt things, because that's what they are like by default. The only reason we are not killing, eating and raping each other with impunity is because we have civilization. Thousands of years of people practicing the art of empathy and discovering the science of morality and of justice and of well-being and writing it all down for the benefit of future generations. And for you to claim that the culmination of these writings is what corrupts children is an insult to everything we have worked for, everything to which you owe your happiness and quality of life. And you may argue that your happiness comes from your children, but just try it out. Try it out wildy beastie styley. If I drop you in the middle of the African savannah next to a pack of hyenas, how comforted would you be to know that your children will still be with you? It might work out. The hyenas might go straight for your kids as an easy snack and they'll leave you alone, in which case you will feel relieved. relieved that you're still alive. This is why other animals don't take shit from their children, because they're trying not to die. There's none of this, if you don't behave yourself, I'm turning this car around and we're going home. No, it's just, if you don't behave yourself, you're going to starve. Unless you're lucky enough to get killed quickly. And I don't give a shit either way, to be honest. I need to stay alive so I can look after my good children. If you're selfish, you die. It's as simple as that. I've done the maths. I didn't even need to do the maths. The maths was already there, hardwired into the DNA of fucking everyone. You would have to be mental as a species to treat your children as morally superior. Who are you again? In fact, the kind of people who think children are pure and innocent are typically exactly the kind of people who fail to discipline them. Because after all, discipline is just a social affectation. And then when they find they've inadvertently raised a miniature Stalin, they go, "It's society's fault." Well, fuck you, quite frankly. Almost no one should be having children at this point, but if you do decide to have children, you should have to answer a brief questionnaire, just simply asking, what do you think of children? And the only people who should be allowed to breed are the people who say, children are cruel, selfish, dangerous monsters, and we have to work really hard to make sure they don't become cruel, selfish, dangerous monsters. If your answer was, I love children, and I want to devote my life to the happiness of another person, then you are on red notice, motherfucker! You are a mad scientist with a truck full of smallpox, and you should be amputated below the waist. You should be concerned with the happiness of everyone, not just the happiness of a creepy little clone of yourself. Question 2. If you could either save the lives of your children, or save the lives of everyone else in the world, who would you save? If your answer was my children, then unless your children make up 50% or more of the world's population, you need to admit yourself into an institution with padded solitary confinement as soon as possible. You are a threat to public safety. If you kill so much as 2 people to save one, then you are a murderer with an aggregate score of 1 virtual homicide. The answer's 1. You can save a child's life over the life of 1 person, no more, no less. Same with dogs and guns. What? Imagine your answer with the word child swapped for the word AK-47. I love AK-47s. I've always wanted an AK-47 of my very own. I want to devote my life to an AK-47 to see it grow into something strong and wonderful. I would kill everyone in the world to save my AK-47. It's not a fair comparison, I know. After all, guns don't kill people. People do! So, if you can't be trusted with a gun, you definitely can't be trusted with a person. Right, what's more important? Being kind or being reasonable? It's reasonable, folks. Reason and compassion should always be unconditional. Kindness should not. You should not be kind to people who are being arseholes, or they will never have any incentive not to be arseholes. You can't treat your child like it's the most important person in the world and then be surprised when it grows into a self-important douchebag. This is what parents need to do. Just once in a while, every now and again, do something other than looking after the little shit. What's more is what teachers need to do. Teachers need to take the fucking power back. Once upon a time, teachers actually had authority over students. They could actually treat them like the arseholes that they are, which had the effect of galvanising the students, sort of in unity of resistance against a common authority figure, which taught them, so inadvertently or otherwise, to question authority. By the time I went to school, there was no authority figure. It was run by the chav scum that populated it. There was no unity of resistance. Everyone's day just revolved around avoiding chavs for as long as possible. As far as I could tell, it's only got worse since then. Nowadays, it's just this carnival of disruption and chaos that just teaches us to hate everyone, when what we should be doing is hating ourselves and teaching children to hate themselves. Not for religious reasons, for genuine moral reasons. You know, because hating yourself is a good thing. Why? Because people who love themselves are fucking unbearable. Goodbye, and fuck off.